Here's the answer. How you sell benefits in a market where rates are higher or market is changed, or it seems like there's only $10 to $15 savings, right? That's the question. And so how you do that is, number one, is you have to detach from the scenario, meaning that you live in Arizona, but you don't live in, like, let's say Boise, Idaho. So $100 is different to you versus someone in Boise, Idaho. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Because their house, they bought their home for 95 grand, right?
Way different.
And so if you approach that person and you're saving them $80, you're thinking like, this isn't shit. But understand that it's you who didn't sell that because you weren't sold on it. But if you can detach from the biased opinion and say like, oh man, this is fucking dope. This is helping him saving a lot. This is helping him save 10% of his income, his gross at that. So, you know, after taxes, it's 25% of his income, right?
Right.
So you look at that, then you become sold on it and you can go at it. But second is understand that it's not numbers. It's the emotional tie to the result. It's the vision of having something accomplished, right? And so if someone tells you like, hey, I want to refinance, I want to lower my rate, great. What they're saying is that they want to lower their payment. But we hear it, we want to lower my rate. And say, okay, great. Let me show you how to do that. Can I ask you, with the savings that you're going to incur, what do you plan to do with the savings? Are you going to put it to debt or are you going to put it in the bank? What do you think they're going to say?
Use it for debt. Well, depends on the type of person. Yeah.
Okay, great. Since I'm a direct servicer to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, I need to document just a few notes, okay? So with your debt, how much in debt do you currently hold now?
About 20,000.
What do you think they'll say? Okay, and what's the payment you send on the 20,000?
The minimum payment required.
Okay, so I already know it's the minimum payment, get it? And so I would say, is that $500 a minimum due or is it above and beyond?
Just the minimum due.
Here, I have an idea. Let me figure out what your net income is. So net is basically, you know, your gross, but your net is after taxes, right? It's after your mortgage, after your car, your utilities, the daycare, the groceries, everything. How much is that number? What's your net?
For about $300.
Okay, and then what do you do with that net? Do you put it to the bank or do you spend it on the kids?
No, spend it with the family.
There you go. How much do you currently have in checking and savings on average?
After paying bills for about maybe $500.
Okay, so here's one thing is, number one is I found out that you're paying minimum. You owe $20,000 in debt and you only have $5 in the bank. So now I have enough leverage to close you, because I imagine that $20,000 has weighed on your credit score. And now I could build the picture of you building your FICO with higher equity because it's a seller's market. And then in 6 months, I can refinance you into a rate and term refi. So now I could show you how to shave 7 years, 10 years, 15 years off the life of your loan and your payment won't change. But it's only up to you. If I save you this much money, do you plan on doing this course of action? And they're gonna say, yeah, I would love to. Say, okay, great, let's put this in place for you. I can help you. That's what's gonna create the glue when fucking owning hits them up with that 1.875 with no closing cost.
So of course I'm Spanish. So there's a lot of people like in the Hispanic culture that don't have the same vision, and they're like, oh well, I'm paying 11% on a car loan, but I'll be done in 2 years. Why would I want to roll that? Yeah.
So what it all comes down to is their upside, right? Because my first kid is half Mexican and I grew up with a lot of Mexicans, so I understand. One thing is for certain is, one, they are super loyal. But number two is they're going to make sure that they and theirs is taken care of. You get it? So they're going to make sure that they're straight. So you got to approach that clientele as, all right, this is what you should do. Okay. What everyone else is going to do, what these Americans are going to do is this, but you need to do this. Get it? Mm-hmm. And what they're going to feel is that bond, like, oh shit, she knows what's up. She's got the back door. She's got the hookup, right?
For sure.
And what do you think they're gonna do?
Trust you and say yes.
And refer you to everybody.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And they're like, hey, Margarita got the hookup.
Connected to SalesRemastered.